If he's in a good place, I think this could be the first time that Shakur Stevenson has somebody who can match him with athletic ability. Pure ability, pure speed, quickness, quick twitch, athletic ability that can match him. But he could possibly match, and maybe even he would have to outmatch him to win. He'd have to be that good, but maybe match Shakur boxing and pull off what would be an upset.
Shakur will get into a rhythm, he'll have that flow, and he'll just edge him out, but it could be very controversial.
And what Shakur can't afford to do, which he did against William Zepeda, is sit on the ropes and show his defensive skills. He needs the footwork, centre of the ring, and not let Teo have that forward momentum. You let him get forward momentum.
We get back in, we going at it again, and now I get you to actually start coming at you. And I caught you with a jab or something like that. I caught you, and I'll never forget this. I caught you, and you basically like kind of came over top of me.
Boxing veteran Teddy Atlas has weighed in on a possible clash between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, and his perspective is unexpected. In his analysis, Atlas highlighted a key issue in Lopez's recent outings, particularly his underwhelming performance against Arnold Barboza, which has led many to wonder whether Lopez is slowing down. On the other hand, Shakur Stevenson silenced critics with a commanding win over William Zepeda, proving wrong those who labeled his style dull and predictable. Atlas finds the matchup compelling because both fighters still have unused potential, and their current trajectories create the ideal conditions for an explosive fight.
Oh, if they were down on Teo, they were up as high as you could be on Shakur in his last fight.
Versus Zepeda, no question.
He finally did what people wanted, this young, talented, brilliant talent, brilliant defensive fighter, brilliant guy at control and range, Olympic silver medalist, quick hands, technically solid. He finally satisfied the critics, and he mixed offense with the defense. He sat down, and instead of moving all the time and punching on the move or on the draw back off traps, you know, you come in 5 inches, he goes back 7.
This is where Atlas really dives deeper, breaking down why Shakur Stevenson may have the advantage while still acknowledging Teofimo Lopez as a very real danger. According to Atlas, the mental aspect is critical for Lopez, especially considering how much his father has influenced his mindset and overall career path. Atlas emphasizes that when Teofimo enters the ring fully focused and in peak physical condition, he becomes a completely different fighter, one capable of testing Stevenson more than anyone else has so far. Most boxing experts view Shakur Stevenson.
Big favorite. It starts for me with Teofimo, where it starts is, where is he mentally? He's up and down. You know, his father, the whole thing, his father's been with him the whole career. Listen, love him, hate him. His father has been part of getting him to these world titles. He's been part of it. Whatever. He has been up and down mentally. Where's he gonna be? If he's right, if he's stable, if he's in a good place, he seemed to be in a very good place when he fought Lomachenko. If he's in a good place, I think this could be the first time that Shakur Stevenson has somebody who can match him with athletic ability. Pure ability, pure speed, quickness, quick twitch, athletic ability that can match him.
As the obvious technical standout, thanks to his sharp defense and high ring IQ. However, Atlas points to a different angle in Teofimo Lopez's style that could completely change the dynamic of the fight. Lopez's unpredictability and sudden bursts of explosiveness could push Stevenson into unfamiliar situations where his usual rhythm no longer applies. This has the potential to become Shakur's toughest challenge yet, facing an opponent who can truly match him skill for skill. Atlas stresses that for Lopez to score the upset, he will have to reach deeper than ever and deliver something truly exceptional. In his final assessment, Atlas is brutally honest about how dangerous
and could actually turn the tables in a way where he could force Shakur out of his comfort zone to maybe do some things, say, he doesn't want to do, that he's not as comfortable doing, initiating in certain spots, that I think Teofimo has the speed, the legs, the quickness, and he's got pop too with it, where he could possibly, I know this sounds ridiculous, but he could possibly match, and maybe even he would have to outmatch him to win. He'd have to be that good, but maybe match Shakur boxing.
Teofimo Lopez can be inside the ring. He highlights Lopez's twitchy, explosive style and the kind of power that grows as the fight goes on. Power that could eventually wear Stevenson down. Atlas truly believes Lopez has the ability to stun everyone, and he feels the heavy favoritism toward Shakur overlooks what Lopez is capable of. In the end, Atlas warns that Stevenson must be fully prepared for a war, because Lopez needs just one perfect night to turn everything upside down.
Pull off what would be an upset. I think it's going to be a very, very, very interesting fight with a lot of X factors, a lot of intangibles, a lot of stuff floating around mentally, everything. I think it could be an intriguing fight. I don't know if it'll be a good fight. I don't know if it'll be a scintillating fight. I don't know about that. But I do think it could be interesting.
Down. Now things take a dramatic turn. Robert Garcia has revealed that Shakur Stevenson confronted him personally just 24 hours after Garcia publicly picked Teofimo Lopez to win the fight. According to Garcia, Stevenson was clearly upset and visibly rattled by the prediction. Speaking directly from his own experience, Garcia says that while most fans expect Shakur to win easily, he believes Teofimo will make the fight far more competitive than people anticipate, and he's standing by his opinion regardless of how Stevenson reacted. Garcia's support of Teofimo Lopez isn't based on friendship or loyalty to the Lopez.
It's a great fight, and last night I seen Shakur, and he actually told, "Oh, I heard you're picking Teofimo." Look, I picked Teofimo because I like him. Him and his dad, they've always been very cool to me. They're friends. That's why I would love to see him pull it up.
But that to you, he saw you. He said you picking Teofimo.
Yeah, he's like because he came into our locker room. And he's like, "Oh, I know. I see you picking Teofimo to beat me." I'm picking Teofimo because he's, I consider friends, good people. His dad's always been very respectful to me. We get along very well, and he's Latino, so I want to see him pull it off. But it's not an easy fight. I think Shakur has the skills, has the style.
Family. It comes from careful analysis and years of observing both fighters at the elite level. Garcia explains that Lopez is at his most dangerous when everything is working in sync, pointing to past explosive performances where he dominated fights and imposed his will. For that reason, Garcia believes that if Teofimo enters the bout in top physical and mental shape, he has all the tools needed to push Shakur Stevenson into deep waters and possibly pull off the win. As the fight draws closer, respected boxing journalist Shawn Zittel has shared his own concerns, focusing on Teofimo Lopez's route to victory. In his latest analysis, Zittel raises important questions about whether Lopez truly has a defined game.
But if we see a Teofimo that beat Lomachenko or the Josh Taylor.
Oh, Josh Taylor, yeah.
Then that's a dangerous Teofimo. So I can't wait for that fight. To me, it's a 50-50 fight. But
plan to beat Shakur Stevenson when it counts. While he recognizes Lopez's strength at 140 pounds, Zittel also notes that against opponents with styles similar to Stevenson's, Teofimo has had trouble executing and has exposed noticeable tactical weaknesses. Shawn Zittel stresses that Teofimo Lopez cannot simply reuse the strategy he employed against Lomachenko, because Shakur Stevenson presents an entirely different challenge with possibly even more dangerous weapons. According to Zittel, the only path to victory for Lopez is to
I think a lot of people feel like Teo being the natural 140 or the bigger, supposed to be the bigger man and the bigger puncher and everything, that he should stalk Shakur. But I feel like I've seen that movie before when he comes in with his lead hand down and he becomes a little predictable. He loses his jab and he basically becomes right hand happy. And he throws it in different ways. He sweeps it to the body, sweeps it to the head, tries to do. Should he use all that athleticism and his angles, and should he be Gordo, like they called him in the amateur? Should he try to outdo what he did against Barboza, which is way different than trying to do it against Shakur Stevenson?
Right.
But if you know, when you've tried to stalk these back foot fighters like Jermaine, like Sandor, and it hasn't made you look at your best.
Outbox Stevenson on a technical level and execute every detail flawlessly, without any mental mistakes. Sean Porter adds to the discussion, noting that Teofimo must deliver the smartest performance of his career while applying constant pressure and pushing Stevenson into uncomfortable close-range exchanges where the fight can turn at any moment. Sean Porter and Sean Zittel have outlined a detailed game plan for Teofimo Lopez, drawing on Porter's first-hand experience against elite-level competition in the ring. Their approach recognizes the reality that Shakur Stevenson is the rightful favorite in—
And you find a way to make Shakur take that step forward and try to actually outbox and be the more athletic fighter than Shakur and say, no, you take a step forward, at least more than you want to. Obviously, he can't do that all 12 rounds. He's going to have to press Shakur at different times. But don't do what you did even against Lomachenko. Don't be on the front foot. Try to outbox him, essentially. Make him come forward.
You got to be smart. You know, going into the fight with Adrian Bronner, my dad, as soon as we had that fight signed and everything, my dad, first training camp, training session,
any pure technical boxing matchup, and denying that would be unrealistic and disrespectful. For Lopez to succeed, he must combine smart aggression with calculated pressure aimed at disrupting Stevenson's natural rhythm and drawing him into Teofimo's territory, where unpredictability can create opportunities. Looking at all these expert opinions and analyses, one message stands out clearly. If anyone can disrupt Shakur Stevenson's momentum and turn his technical skill into a weakness, it's Teofimo Lopez. His statement wins over Lomachenko and Josh Taylor cemented him as a—
Shakur is such a sure thing. He's been a sure thing since the day he became a professional. He's the legit favorite.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick against him. Yeah. But if Teofimo's going to do it, does he got to do a lot of what you just talked about with Jesse in that fight?
Number one, you have to understand that it is possible. I think with Jesse—
it sounded like you were stubborn about it. He's going to have to be stubborn, and that takes a level of, sounds like, patience and stubbornness at the same time, because punch for punch, Shakur is the more accurate guy with timing and placement. So you're going to get touched up if you're Teo. Does that make you get desperate and abandon and go, nah, I got to go get him and get on the front foot and get it right back?
And so, yeah, to that point, there's an amount of patience that has to be there. There has to be an amount of understanding that this might not be going the way it usually goes for me, but as long as I feel comfortable, I'm going to—
serious force. And many analysts believe he's still the only active fighter with the precise skill set to challenge Stevenson. Gareth Davies captured this perfectly, noting that while Stevenson might narrowly lead on the scorecards, the constant threat and unpredictability Lopez brings make every round a potential game-changer. Spencer Olivier approaches this fight from a very different perspective, strongly favoring Shakur Stevenson due to his impressive resume and consistent career performance. Olivier sees this as Stevenson's prime chance to notch another big win and move closer to the 4-division championship level that Terence Crawford reached. He acknowledges that Lopez has had some shaky moments recently, but Stevenson's undefeated record and precise technical—
universally accepted as the #1 in that division. Brilliant victories in his career over Josh Taylor, and prior to that, Vasyl Lomachenko. I think a true victory over Vasyl Lomachenko. If anyone can upset the ascent of Shakur Stevenson up the pound-for-pound list, up the weight divisions, it's the spoiler that is Teo Lopez. I've watched a lot of them together in the build-up, and I like the way Teo is, and I like the way Shakur is. See, Shakur's got the gap between his teeth. It's gone now.
Yeah.
He's had his teeth done. He's ready to be a megastar. I'm really, really, really fascinated by this contest. I think Shakur Stevenson can win this on points, Spencer, but he's going to have to be at his very, very best as we look at these images of the two men. This is the fight that ignites the American market.
Skills make Olivier confident that Shakur can handle whatever Teofimo brings and secure a clear victory. Gareth Davies takes the opposite view, believing that Teofimo Lopez has everything needed to give Shakur Stevenson the first real challenge of his professional career. Davies suggests that Lopez could disrupt Stevenson's rise, making this the toughest fight Shakur has ever faced in the ring. While Davies still thinks Stevenson might edge a points victory, he stresses that Shakur must fully respect the threat in front of him, as Lopez's aggression and power make him capable of turning the bout into a career-defining battle that could change everything.
Teofimo Lopez blows hot and cold, but when he's good, he's really good. Vasyl Lomachenko was an outstanding performance. Then he got derailed by George Kambosos in the fight after that and just seemed to lose his way a little bit, but in recent times looks back to his best. It's a fascinating fight. This, for me, is all about whether Shakur Stevenson can step up and bring the greatness. He's daring to be great, and I think that Terence Crawford done it against Canelo Alvarez, and I believe that Shakur Stevenson does it against Teofimo Lopez in a fascinating fight. You know, if you're a boxing fan, for the boxing purist, the sweet science between these two, you watch the technical stuff that goes in there. Might not go down as one of the greatest fights there ever was. This could be a real standoff, a real technical fight, but both guys, their IQ is insane, and this is the best fight in boxing today.
Even though Shakur Stevenson remains the betting favorite, these recent expert analyses have reinforced the idea that Teofimo Lopez is a real threat capable of upending expectations. Boxing insiders see him as the only active fighter with the combination of skills and mindset to truly challenge Stevenson. Both Gareth Davies and Spencer Olivier emphasize that Shakur must learn from any mistakes he made against William Zepeda, as those moments highlight where Teofimo's physical advantages become most dangerous and could potentially halt Stevenson's rise. Olivier also points out that Lopez must assert his physical dominance and pressure Stevenson throughout the fight. Something
very special character, the American Honduran. I like the way he is. I can see him halting the progress of Shakur, even though I'm going Shakur on points. It would not surprise me if it's a weight division too far. And if Shakur does win this, or it's an extraordinary fight, we will get a second one between them. But it also opens the door for Shakur for the fight with Ryan Garcia, for the fight with Conor Benn, for the fight with Devin Haney. This is the opening of the portals for a big events in America.
I totally agree with that, and that's not you sitting on the fence, by the way, because there is ways that both of these
he has done successfully against most of his opponents in the past. While Teddy Atlas and other respected analysts noted that Teofimo Lopez's showing against Arnold Barboza was underwhelming and raised doubts about his readiness for top-level competition, Lopez himself rejects those critiques. He explained that Barboza was reluctant to engage and barely threw any significant punches, preventing him from fully displaying his skills. Lopez has confidently predicted a knockout over Stevenson, stating that his main goal is to teach Shakur a harsh lesson about moving up in weight for the first time. He warns that every opponent who faces him feels his power, and Stevenson will be no exception once that first punch lands. From Teddy Atlas's bold predictions to Gareth Davies and Spencer Olivier dissecting every detail.
Just edge him out, but it could be very controversial.
And what Shakur can't afford to do, which he did against William Zepeda, is sit on the ropes and show his defensive skills. He needs the footwork, centre of the ring, and not let Teo have that forward momentum. You let him get forward momentum, and he will bull you.
Here's the excitement on this, though. Here's the excitement on this. Teofimo Lopez will put him in that position, because he's got that physical
So it's
advantage.
all about the timing in the mid-range. It's going to be fascinating.
He has the physical attributes to put him on the ropes, and he knows that that's where his game's at. He's not going to be able to outbox Shakur. Yeah, he's a great boxer himself, and he's very athletic, and he's got great movement and all that, but he's explosive, he's more bullish, and he will have to bull Shakur. He'll have to bully him, and then where the fight is won and lost is whether he can keep him on the ropes and win the rounds and rack up.
One thing is clear. Teofimo Lopez is far from just another name on Shakur Stevenson's record. His explosive power, constant pressure, and unpredictable style could make this fight the toughest challenge of Stevenson's career. Who do you think will come out on top when the final bell rings? Share your predictions below, hit that like button if you're hyped for this potential battle, and subscribe for full coverage of every major fight analysis and breakdown.
You training for a knockout? Are you training to do something to not just beat Shakur, but to beat him in grand fashion? When I say grand fashion, I mean going for the knockout.
Well, I think that the whole thing with the Bible of boxing really is that if you look for the knockout, you won't get it. You know, I think really it's just all about setting a good pace early in the beginning rounds and then going from there, setting that tone. I think that I don't see him going those 12 rounds. This is his first time moving up to 140. A lot of these guys could say a lot of things about me not knocking them out or whatnot, but they don't come and try to fight me after they feel this power. So it's for a reason. It carries. It does carry. I mean, I had a good showing with Arnold Barboza. He was #1, my mandatory, and he didn't. He was too hesitant, trying to commit to